am going towards Jivak's home, who has been mispronounced. Whose real name is Junedi. This is Junedi's temple, folks. This is Jivak's temple, the Buddha's doctor's temple, and this is the Buddha's doctor's village. And folks, most probably the ladies you see here are descendants of Jivak, because they call Junedi their Pitri. Pitri means an ancestor. That means Junedi, mispronounced as Jivak, was their ancestor. Now, how did I come to this conclusion? To understand this, folks, please view this video till the end, because Junedi is Jivak's real name, and the village, Junedi village, is settled on top of Jivaks. Now, folks, that I've shown you the preaching hall that Jivak made for the Buddha. That is Gorma. It is exactly north of Chandiman. Just as Zhang says, that is Gorma. Now, Zhang takes us to Junedi's house itself, folks, and Junedi's descendants live there. To Jivak's house itself. So basically, Zhang writes, east of the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha is the ruined house of Jivak himself. When Zhang went there, it was ruined. Anyway, the village called Junedi is on top of it. Jivak is a mispronunciation of Junedi. The real name is Junedi. Junedi was a Ved. So Junedi, Vedi is a Ved. So Junedi. And folks, it seems he belonged to the Kushwaha Kurmi caste. Kuswaha means to give herbs. Kuswaha means to give herbs. Kuswaha. They were the doctors. And in Junedi, his descendants stay there. Check out the pictures of his descendants. And basically the temple which is over there, see, the people pray. It's in the name of Junedi Baba, and such temples are called Pitri. Pitri means ancestor. So Junedi, or your Jivak, was their ancestor. That is why there is a temple to him, and the descendants pray to him, folks. And the whole area around it, around 35-40 villages around it, pray to Junedi. So Buddhism was never lost. Check out what Zhang has to say, and then check out your satellite pictures of the place, and then you can see pictures of the temple, the house area where Junedi's house was, and most important, his descendants. Check out pictures of them. Now that Zhang shows us the preaching hall of the Buddha. This is the preaching hall which Jivak made for the Buddha. His real name is Junedi, and I will prove it just now. So this is the preaching hall which Jivak made for the Buddha, because this is Gorma. Gorma means if you donate something to a person of the stature of the Buddha, you donate it at his feet. So Gorma means at the feet. So this is the preaching hall Jivak donated to Buddha. So folks, now let's see where Zhang takes us after this. See, to the northeast of the fiery ditch of Srigupta, that is Shing-mi, that is Chandi, at a bend of the city is a stupa. This is where Jivak The great physician built a preaching hall for Buddha. I showed it to you. Here it is this is the preaching hall for the Buddha at a bend of the city. See, the river has bent and the city also has had bent. Now, what do you call it? Let's see where he takes us after that. The great physician built a preaching hall for the Buddha, that is Jivak. All around the walls he planted flowers and fruit trees. The traces of the foundation walls and the decayed roots of the trees are still visible. Tathagat, when he was in the world, often stopped here. So the Buddha would often stay here. By the side of this place there are the remains of the house of Jivak. By the side of Gorma. Gorma is the preaching hall which Jivak made for the Buddha. And by the side of this place are the remains of the house of Jivak, and the hollow of an old well also exists there still. So let's see, here is the preaching hall, Gorma, and by the side of it is the remains of Jivaks. What his real name is Junedi. See, it's all these Britishers who have translated it, and they translated it in Calcutta in 1850. That time Calcutta was the capital city of British India. So you had, Bengalis, trying to guess what the wobbled words were, wobbled names were. So you get odd Bengali-ish type of names. So Junedi is the actual name of Jivak, and folks, his descendants live here, and I have met them. His descendants live here, and I have met them. I will show you his descendants, because there is a temple, Devisthan, Junedi. There is a temple to Junedi, and people pray to him. People pray to him because they say Junedi is their ancestor. If Junedi is their ancestor, that means Jivak is their ancestor. So these are the descendants of Jivak. Check out the pictures of Jivak's village, home, and his present day descendants. Okay, now folks, I am headed towards Junedi, which is Jivak's real name, Junedi's house. Folks, this is a temple dedicated to Junedi. That is Jivak is a mispronunciation of Junedi. And see, on top of the temple in Hindi it is written, Junedi's name is written. Folks, Junedi is Jivak. Jivak is a mispronunciation of Junedi, and these ladies up here are most probably his descendants. Because this temple is dedicated to Junedi, who is the Pitri of the village. The Pitri means ancestor. That means these people are Junedi's descendants, they are Jivak's descendants. Jivak is a mispronunciation of Junedi, folks, and this village is east of Gorma, which according to Huen Tsangs was the place where Jivak made a preaching hall for the Buddha. So actually there are two places, options, Kadamtar and Gorma. Kadamtar and Gorma. And look, this priest has overtaken this temple. These temples are not supposed to be for Brahman priests. In most of Bihar, Brahman priests are not allowed to enter these temples, which is proof of Buddhism. So folks, what you are viewing is Junedi's temple. People pray to Jivak as the village deity. People pray to Jivak as the village deity. They have forgotten the story of Jivak. They have forgotten the story who Junedi was, means who Jivak was. They just simply have, it's the same thing all across Bihar. People have forgotten the story, the history, the Buddhist story. They are just holding on to the Buddhist names. So this is Junedi, And folks, most probably these ladies sitting here singing, they are descendants of Junedi or Jivak, whatever you want to call him, folks. And basically, Zhang says the what do you call it? This is the house of Jivak. So the place's name is Junedi because the house, who lives here? Junedi lives here. Junedi. And his descendants living here, it became a village. So folks, these are the fields around, what do you call it? Junedi, your Jivak's home. So, I will show you a very old house right on spot on top of Jivak's home. This is a temple in the side of the village dedicated to the soul of Jivak, and generally it is the descendants. See this house, and this is just next to that Panchane river. That Panchane river is between Junedi and Gorma. So this is just next to Panchane river, and see how in ancient times they made what you call it brick homes. See, this house is a mixture of ancient bricks and modern bricks. They have sort of mixed the two up, used the ancient ones also, and the plastering is done with mud. You just see the plaster work of the walls. It is done with mud. So this is ancient science coming down. The science the Tibetans saw and they loved, because you had brick walls with the brick wall with plastered with mud, and with thatched roof on top with corrugated with gables. And see, this is doorway, and on top of the doorway you can see the design of the bricks with plastered with mud. So folks, this is this house is exactly on top of Jivak's home. So I hope you found this video educative. See, this place is very important because the Buddha used to come here for medical treatment. Imagine it, the Buddha used to come here for medical treatment, and Jivak was his chief physician. So basically, this is the importance of this village. The Buddha would come here for medical treatment. So I hope you found this video educative, and if you did so, don't forget to follow, like and subscribe to my page Buddha Exhumed, and don't forget to tell your friends and relatives about this page Buddha Exhumed and this video. Thank you.